My white chocolate fudge with condensed milk recipe is easy and delicious. With 2 ingredients and just as many minutes in the microwave, you can make amazing homemade fudge. Let's get started. Like I said, this white chocolate fudge recipe has just 2 base ingredients, one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and one 11-ounce bag of white chocolate chips. Even though that's all you really need, if you want to take it to the next level, you can also add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Off to the side, I have a loaf pan that I've lined with plastic. That's where I'm going to set the fudge, but if you want a thinner fudge, you can definitely pour it into an 8x8 casserole dish as well. Here I have a microwave safe bowl, a spatula and spoon, and this is a really easy recipe. All I have to do is pour the sweetened condensed milk, the white chocolate chips, and the salt into this bowl, mix to combine, and then microwave on high for 2 minutes in 30-second increments, stirring after each increment. And then after it comes out, I'll add the vanilla extract, then pour it into the loaf pan to harden in the refrigerator, and that's it. So I'm going to start by just pouring in the sweetened condensed milk. I am using full fat sweetened condensed milk. I've never made fudge with fat-free or reduced fat or sugar-free, anything like that. But if you try this recipe at home and you use another type of sweetened condensed milk, please let me know how it turns out. So I'm going to scrape that off camera. Also going to add the white chocolate chips. Like I said, this recipe is really easy. The only thing you really need to worry about is making sure that the bowl is dry. Making sure that everything is dry. Your bowl, the spoon, you want it to be clean and dry, because if you're melting chocolate, little drops of water or some other liquid can make the chocolate seize and ruin it. So now I'm just going to mix the sweetened condensed milk and the white chocolate fudge together. I almost forgot the salt. I'm not adding the vanilla now because cooking vanilla can burn some of it off, so I'm going to add that after I'm done microwaving the fudge. So I'm just going to scrape the can and then put this in the microwave for the first 30-second increment. The condensed milk and white chocolate chips just came out of the microwave after the first 30-second increment. I'm just going to give it a stir. And then back in it goes for another 30 seconds. After the second 30-second increment, so 1 minute total, you can see the white chocolate chips are starting to melt more now. I also have a knife off to the side here because, as you can see, the soon-to-be fudge is sticking to the spatula, so having a clean, dry knife to scrape it off is a good idea. After the third increment, one thing I just wanted to clarify is that I am not covering the bowl when it's in the microwave. So I am microwaving the white fudge uncovered. Now, just 30 more seconds and the microwaving will be done. The white chocolate fudge just came out of the microwave after the fourth and final 30-second increment, so 2 minutes in total. You can see it's definitely melting now. It does look a bit lumpy and it looks like it might not be totally melted, but all you have to do is keep mixing. If you just keep mixing it, it smooths out. I just finished mixing it off camera. You can see it is a lot smoother now than it was. Just gonna add my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Like I said, I waited to add it now because I didn't want vanilla flavor to burn off the microwave. Now that the vanilla is mixed in, I'm just going to pour the fudge into the loaf pan. If you really want your fudge to be pure white, then you might want to use a clear vanilla extract or even leave it out. But honestly, I think the flavor from the vanilla is worth losing the pure white color a little bit. As I get the last of the fudge out of the bowl, you can see it's starting to thicken up even now. Microwave fudge recipes, including this white chocolate version, move very quickly. The fudge starts to set very fast once it starts to cool off. So make sure you have everything ready to go, specifically the mold where you're going to let your fudge harden. Make sure you have that ready to go beforehand, because if you don't, you're going to be scrambling. I just finished scraping all of the fudge into the loaf pan. Like I said, you want to work quickly. So now I am going to let this cool down a bit more here on the countertop, maybe half an hour. Then I'm going to put it into the refrigerator. I would say 3 to 4 hours in the refrigerator, and it should be firm enough to slice. But if you want to be on the safe side, 8 hours to overnight. I'm going to harden it without covering it, so I'm just going to literally put it in the refrigerator like it is now, and then it'll be ready. If I remember correctly, I let the fudge harden in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. It had a very pleasing smell of white chocolate chips and vanilla, so I couldn't wait to dig in and give the fudge a try. And when I took the first bite, I knew that my 2-ingredient white chocolate fudge with sweetened condensed milk recipe was a big success because it was absolutely delicious. I already have some fudge recipes here on my channel, and I have more coming soon, and I'll have to say that this one, along with the strawberry fudge, were my favorites. I knew that this was going to be good, but I honestly didn't expect it to be this good. I loved it, and everyone who tried it said the same. It might sound weird, but I think that the best way to describe the taste of this fudge would be vanilla ice cream with a hint of white chocolate in the background. Although vanilla extract is technically optional in this 2-ingredient white chocolate fudge recipe, I highly suggest that you add it. White chocolate already has a bit of vanilla flavor in the background, so adding vanilla extract complements the white chocolate chips and sweetened condensed milk absolutely perfectly. In fact, the vanilla flavor came through so strongly that I think a good way to describe this fudge would be a vanilla white chocolate fudge. The flavor, combined with the cool temperature from being stored in the refrigerator and the creamy melt in your mouth texture, definitely reminded me of vanilla ice cream. And now that I'm holding the fudge up to the camera, you can see how smooth it was. Although the top was textured, inside it was perfectly smooth and creamy. That's probably why the fudge melted in my mouth like ice cream. Another good thing about this recipe is that it makes a lot. As you can see, I cut the fudge into about 1-inch chunks more or less. I didn't count how many pieces I got out of it, but as you can imagine, you can get a lot of pieces out of this one recipe, so it's great for serving a crowd. As I already said, this white chocolate fudge with sweetened condensed milk was absolutely fantastic. It tasted great, I love the texture, and best of all, it was easy to make. With just 2 base ingredients and a few others if you want to take it to the next level, and just 2 minutes in the microwave, you can make an amazing dessert that everyone will love. As usual, this is my first time making this recipe, and I thought it turned out perfectly, so I wouldn't change anything. The only thing to keep in mind about this recipe is that even though the vanilla extract adds a ton of flavor, and I suggest that you add it, it does change the color from perfectly white to a little off-white. Some people might expect white chocolate fudge to be perfectly white, so if that's you, you might want to leave out the vanilla. You could use clear vanilla extract, but my understanding is that that's always imitation made with chemicals, and most people on the internet will tell you that the taste isn't the same. So, as with a lot of recipes, I think you have to decide if you want something that looks perfect but doesn't taste as good as it could, or something that tastes amazing but isn't quite as presentable. With that said, I still highly recommend this recipe. It would be great for Christmas, but also Easter, Mother's Day, or the 4th of July as part of a red, white, and blue dessert table. If you make this, I know you'll love it. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.